sink or float? What does sink mean? What does float mean? An object will sink when it is heavier or more dense than the liquid. An object will float on the liquid surface when it is lighter or less dense than the liquid. Density. Less dense means lighter and able to float. More dense equals heavier and unable to float. Today we will be testing if an object floats or sinks. Our three objects we will be testing are a quarter, a Tupperware container with a lid, and an air-filled dog toy. We will guess if it is lighter or heavier than the water and make our predictions before the experiment. First, here are the safety rules. First, you must have adult permission to complete this experiment. Second, only test waterproof items. Third, do not overflow the sink. Fill it about halfway. First step is to fill up the sink halfway. The second step is to collect the items that you want to use. For myself, I chose the Tupperware container with a lid, an air-filled dog toy, and a quarter. Finally, make predictions whether each of your items will float or sink. The quarter will sink, the dog toy will float. The Tupperware is expected to float. Finally, it's time to test the items. First, we will drop the Tupperware into the water. It floats, just like our prediction. Next, we will drop the quarter into the sink. It sinks, just like we thought. Finally, we will test if the dog toy floats or sinks. It floats. Another one, just like we thought. Now, let's sum up our results. First, we will talk about the items that sink. These are the ones that were heavier or more dense in the water. The quarter was the only item that we tested that was more dense in the water, and therefore, it sank. The quarter was the only object that broke through the water's surface and was heavier, even though the quarter was the smallest item. Size does not always matter. It is more important about the weight and the density. The quarter was much more dense. Next, we'll talk about the items that floated. These objects were lighter and less dense in the water. What objects do you think these were that we tested? If you guessed the dog toy and the Tupperware, then you were right. The dog toy and the Tupperware were both able to stay on top of the water's surface. This means they were both lighter, less dense than the water. Even though both of these were the bigger of the items that we tested, they were less dense, so they stayed afloat, unlike the heavier quarter. Thanks for watching the experiment. I hope you all learned a little more about floating and sinking today.